Yeah, welcome everybody. I'm Dave, and this is What's Phantom in Japan with...
The Green Phantom. What's up, Canada? What's up, everyone? What's up, Japan? What's up in Japan is what we'll try to answer today, as well as many other questions, such as what's up with All In, and what's up with the future in Japan, and destruction all over Japan.
Yeah, destructive Japan is what we're going to talk about.
How are you doing, Dave Simon?
I'm doing very well, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. My life is blessed, brother. Let me tell you.
Yeah, what's going on with the Green Phantom?
There's just so much, you know. I'm just so busy. I mean, I could always use a few more wrestling bookings, but
really, I figure you're all booked up.
Yeah, you know, there's just some people. I'm not a great politicker, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't get booked where I think I should. You know, as Montreal's most exposed and most popular wrestler, especially in non-wrestling circles. Yeah. Here I am, you know, front page of the Gazette. I'm doing this podcast. I'm doing appearances here and there. I'm going to do the roast of Tony Marinaro tonight. That's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
You know, life's good. Life's looking up, man.
And you're supposed to wrestle Johnny North at some point, which we have to talk about because Johnny's been cutting promos on you. I don't know if you're aware, but on Dave and Johnny Live, he's been talking about you. Have you seen Dave and Johnny Live? Are you a regular viewer?
I am not. I guess I should be, or I shouldn't be.
I think you should be.
Really? Maybe Johnny North, Genesis, will have a problem if I hear any of that stuff. You know.
On the last episode of Dave and Johnny Live, John informed me that a wizard is what you call a male magician.
Nice.
That makes no sense, right? Don't you call a male magician a magician?
Yeah, but a wizard knows magic, but there's a lot more to him than just being a magician.
He's not just a magician.
A magician is a showman. Johnny North, you obviously don't know shit, right? I mean, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. I'm gonna put my boot so far down your throat, man.
Yeah,
you'll have radial marks.
Oh my goodness,
in your colon.
So this match is supposed to happen at some point. You versus Johnny North.
Sure.
And I want to be the referee because I figure there's no one more impartial than me to stand down the middle between the Green Phantom and North Genesis.
I'm sure it'll be an easy match for you to call. You just have to fall down and go 1, 2, 3, and that'll be that. You know. Like once you see me on top, of course.
As long as there's no outside interference, and I never know, you know. And Green Phantom is up to some crazy tricks. I've seen Green Phantom in the ring. I may have to admonish him.
Yeah, you'll have to.
I know how to count to 5 if you're holding on to the ropes.
I'll kill you. But all like kidding aside, Johnny North is actually a pretty good opponent. I have I have a scar on my forehead to attest to his headbutts to my head.
No, you don't need to put John over right now. He never puts you over. He's always just like
he's
always just cutting promos on you. You know, don't put him over.
Well, he's a piece of shit. Then what can I say? You know, I'm trying to give him some props. You know, if you. There's one place you won't see Johnny North is on TV, but you can see me on TV quite regularly on RDS2. The IWS has our show. The times vary, so I can't tell you. But if you look at it, because honestly, it plays all the time.
It's on TV sometimes. We're not sure when.
It plays all the time. It's so weird. Like a staple it used to be Sunday early afternoon, but then last week it wasn't on at that time, and it was on at like 3 other times, like Wednesday at like 4, and like it's honestly it's so messed up schedule.
So,
I don't understand.
You know what you should do to watch it? This is my consult, okay, to the viewers and the listeners. You set your PVR to record IWS whenever it airs. That way, you don't need to know when it airs. Your PVR will recognize it, and then you'll get it that way.
I believe it's Lutte. The title on like the PVR thing is Lutte sur RDS. And the first part of the show is usually ROH, and then the last hour or the last 2 hours, depending on the day. Is IWS.
Really? It's like a 3-hour block of wrestling. They just
or 2-hour block.
They just toss on there randomly to fill time.
Yeah. It's weird, but it's cool though because I always get texts from people of pictures of their screen. Like, oh shit, you're on, especially at bars because TVs are on all the time.
Yeah, always on the sports channels, right?
So people always text me pictures of me on TV, so which is really cool.
And for those that don't know, because we have a lot of listeners from out of town, from outside of Quebec, RDS is a sports channel like a TSN or an ESPN for Quebec. It's in French, And IWS is on sometimes.
Yeah.
On RDS2, not RDS1.
RDS2, yeah.
Okay.
And you can also see us live October 6th at Club Unity, downtown Montreal. British Strong Style. Pete Dunne and his crew are going to be in town.
Sure.
It's way better than watching it on TV, that's for sure. Oh, and other news in IWS, we actually...
don't watch Conor McGregor on October 6th. Go to IWS.
No, it'll be over by 10 o'clock.
It better be.
It will be.
It better be because the place will empty.
I know. We're actually better than that. Unity is showing the fight.
Oh, that's smart.
So that's super smart.
Oh,
it's
you can
amazing.
do both.
So you can do both. You can, and the thing is,
you're enticing me right now, Green fans.
Our events are done by 10 these days, maybe 10:15, and nothing's happened at UFC before 10 o'clock anyway.
That's true.
And if it does, well, it's on the screen anyway, so you can watch it, which is fantastic.
So the UFC prelims will be on the screen while the wrestling show's going on?
Upstairs, yeah, not downstairs.
So I could be upstairs kind of looking over at the wrestling, but also watching the fight.
Yes.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
For my personal plans for the McGregor fight. That's what you're saying.
It's fantastic.
You can get me a good seat for the wrestling matches, too?
Yeah, always. Come on.
All right,
Come on, Dave Simon. Although you're supposed to be impartial, so maybe I'm not supposed to.
Johnny North hooks me up too, so it's part of it. You have to hook me up with tickets just like John. Although John made me pay for the last show that I went to see him perform at.
He made you pay.
Yeah, he made me pay.
Bitch.
Or Drew Onyx made me pay. I'm not sure who.
Well,
somebody did.
Maybe Drew Onyx would.
All right. Should we get to New Japan Professional Wrestling?
Oh yeah. No. First, I want to say one more thing about IWS.
Okay.
We're booked at WrestleCon this year. The WrestleMania weekend.
Oh.
Game Changer Wrestling is they're putting on a show. It's called, what the hell is it called? Like the Community or something? Anyways, IWS is slated to have a full show on WrestleMania weekend in New Jersey or in New York, Riverside, all that stuff. It'll be really, really big time stuff. I'm really excited. Really excited for that.
That's cool. And you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there. Phantom's going to be wrestling there. It'll be my return to the USA, and it's been a few years I haven't wrestled there.
Do you have any idea who else IWS is going to bring to that show?
TDT, Bucks.
TDT has not signed to WWE or NXT?
No, it's weird, eh?
Huh.
They're so good. They're not even ROHs. I don't get it.
That is weird.
They're one of the top teams, and they're super over, and I don't know. I'll tell you. But it being over and super good is not always get you bookings.
That's right.
Not that I was ever that good, but I definitely thought I should get some more bookings here and there. But regardless, now after saying that, let's move on to not Japan yet, but All In.
Yeah. Speaking of, I just wanted to touch on local wrestling. You know, Michael Elgin's coming to town at some point. I saw he's booked at some show locally. I don't know what it's for, but I saw something on Facebook.
I don't give a shit.
No, eh? He's a New Japan guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's coming to Montreal.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to watch it. I don't know what that is. I can't really give you any information on it. All right. What do you got? What did you think of All In?
I thought All In...
Because I talked about it already on Dave and Johnny Live kind of when it happened. Johnny watched it too. Johnny was into it. So
we can skip over it then. We don't want to.
No, I want to know your thoughts on the show. I mean, it was a big show, and it was
great. It was
like a New Japan style show.
Yeah, that's it. It was really more New Japan style, more indie style, because it was indie. But I mean, I'm not sure I like that term, but more indie style. I really enjoyed how they combined it with the old school. With the NWA there, and it's hard to tell a lot in wrestling, but I truly believe there was really sincere feelings there with Cody winning that belt. You know, his father really helped make famous. You know, helped carry for a while. You know, it was touching. It was good, and like I said, and the rest of the matches. None stick out for me right now. I haven't think
the Kenny Omega.
Yeah, Kenny Omega at Pentagon was great. You know, and it's good. It's Japanese style too, where there's like a clear winner. You know, there's not all this schmoz or screw jobs or cheating or this or that. I mean, there is room for that in wrestling. Don't get me wrong, but I like it how it's just two men step in and fans want to say, you know, who's going to win, and somebody wins. You know.
Yeah.
And Kenny Omega being the IWGP heavyweight champion, he had to win. Obviously.
It made sense. It's All In. It's a Young Bucks show, right?
Yeah.
Kenny Omega, he's the guy.
And Pentagon, and that's the thing about winning and losing in wrestling, which I find really weird. After a match, let's say I meet someone at the bar, they always ask, "Did you win?" You know, it's like the
Who cares?
It's like the silliest question, and it's always for people who don't follow wrestling. It's like the first thing they always ask, and it's like the dumbest question because. Do you think like Pentagon Jr. looks any worse because he lost in parentheses to Pentagon? And like and I always ask the same. I always say the same thing to people when people say this shit. I say, did Rocky ever win a boxing match? No, he didn't. It's a fucking movie, man. Do people look at Al Pacino less when he dies in a movie? Oh, look at Al Pacino, he died. You know, oh, he's less because he didn't win or something.
Sure.
Like it's so dumb, you know.
Yeah, it's a weird question to ask. My question, whenever I see a wrestler after their match that I haven't seen, I just say, "Well, how was the match?" You know. That, I think, is a good question to ask.
Totally, 100%.
How was the match?
How was your match?
How did it go for you? How was your opponent?
Yeah, how was the crowd?
Yeah.
Anything. But who won?
Did you win?
Did you win?
That's like, kind of my last question. To Johnny North a lot, we talk about his matches on the show, and you know, my last question is like, okay, so how was the match? And he tells me the planning and and all the stages of the match, and then some of the wrestling bits, and then I say, okay, well, did you go over here? What happened? And he's like, oh, no, I hit my finish, and I went over. That's kind of at the end. Usually it's not, I hit my finish. Usually it's like, no, I didn't go over. That's usually the answer. That's why I call him Johnny the Jobber, which he does not like.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
But I don't understand why he doesn't like it, because to your point, I'm calling him Johnny the Jobber, not because I think he sucks at wrestling, but because promoters are so stupid that they book him to lose to guys half his size on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It goes both ways because, I mean, you want to be, on top. I mean, losing... It depends what you're losing when you lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's like, it can be some stupid match, whatever, but, sometimes on a grand scale, you can lose more than just the match. You can lose some face but if you do it well, you don't have to, job out, precise because losing or getting pinned or whatever can be many different ways. If you get disqualified, you get pinned, you get submitted, you get some sort of screw job, whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many ways and with different angles, even cheating or not cheating. So it's the gravity of these changes all the time from show to show to show. And again, it goes both ways. I just finished telling you that winning doesn't really matter, but what happens is saving face to some degree.
Well, that's it. And there are guys like Hulk Hogan, John Cena, who, if you look at the list of guys that they have lost cleanly to in the middle of the ring, it's less than a dozen through their entire careers.
Yeah. I mean, Hogan, it's less than 3, I think.
It's like nobody. It's like Jacques Rougeau, Ultimate Warrior, and I don't know. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yeah. Can you come up with anybody?
Yeah,
maybe The Rock?
Japan
The Rock, possibly? But it's a very short list of guys.
Yeah, and like I'm one to say because, I mean, for most of my career, I've been lucky in parentheses to say, I guess I won more. I won a lot more than I've lost. Because of various things about me. But I've never had a problem laying down for someone in a proper way at all. I've lost to some of the skinniest little kids ever. But you do properly, it's fine, man. I really don't mind. I'm curious what'll be asked of us when me and Johnny North square off.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know.
Who's booking that show? Do you know?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think I'm booking it now. I'm taking charge.
Yeah. Well, whatever they tell me, it doesn't matter because I'm going to knock Johnny out and pin him. Doesn't matter what the bosses tell me. I don't give a fuck.
And I'm going to have to be in the ring for that. It's going to get ugly. Everybody's going to be there.
You won't even have to count the pin. You just have to call the TKO.
Just beware, my friend AJ. Did you meet AJ? I think you met AJ at SummerSlam, right?
Yeah, maybe. I'm terrible with names, man. I'm a face guy.
He's gonna be there.
Yeah,
he's ready for it. We're all ready for it. All right. Cool. But to your point, Dragon Lee in that All In match, he lost, 1, 2, 3 to Kenny Omega, but he won because now I know who he is, and I want to see his matches way more than I did before.
Yeah.
It was a great match.
Yeah, he's great, and there's that apron, those apron moves. You see them all the time now, and there he did his Canadian Destroyer on the apron. I believe it there. I think
so.
That apron moves stuff has been going on crazy these days. Everyone's biting it, and you know where that apron stuff first exploded? It was in the IWS, man. It was we started the first apron thing I've ever seen was Eddie getting Fisherman busted on the apron in the IWS, and then from there I started to see it more and more and more and more. Now every single move there ever was has been done on the apron, you know.
And even Kevin Owens, a representative, he hits that apron power bomb on a consistent basis.
Yeah, 100%. It's cool.
That's kind of his thing that he's doing. And they do a lot of stuff on the apron, on the outside, everywhere.
Yeah.
That match was rough.
It was.
How long can Kenny Omega keep this up? Every match he has is crazy. And we can look at his match with Ishii for the IWGP title on that Road to Destruction show. That match was intense.
He works so hard, man. Like you said, I don't know how he's going to keep up that stuff. I mean, it's just every night there's so many head drops and shoulder drops, you know, and it's not like he does it once a month. He's done it like a few times, you know, a week, you know, like in All In, he didn't hold out. He still ate some shit, you know.
Yeah. Like that was a spot where it's not his show. It's not necessarily all about him.
Yeah, he really doesn't ever take a night off, and let's move on to Destruction. There's all kinds of tag matches going on in there.
Yeah,
and again, where you think like, what's this tag match all about? There's so many different characters in there, and then these storylines appear, which is fantastic. But like to the point we're talking about. On every show, Kenny could take off when he has his tag match or whatever, but he doesn't. He still goes, man. He still goes.
Best bout machine, right? Like
he really, bout machine. It's incredible.
He doesn't.
He's living the gimmick.
He really is. It's incredible how he doesn't stop. How every match you see, you think, okay, Kenny Omega. I mean, you know it's gonna be good, but how can he top what he just did? And then somehow he goes out there and he has this insane match. You're like, my God, this guy he's almost doing too much for us. You know, it's crazy how he not only maintains this high level, but he seems to be going higher and higher.
Yeah.
How do you do that? It's nuts.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. That's why he's definitely one of my faves out there, man. He's always exciting to watch. Always.
Yeah. And he had that match with Ishii. You know, he lost to Ishii in the G1. They had the rematch for the title. He winds up winning that. And then Kenny's match coming up on the Fighting Spirit Unleashed show, which will take place this weekend. It's this Sunday.
Is that? Oh yeah, that card looks so stacked, man.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to talk a little bit more about the Destruction before we got to that card.
But... Oh, all right, we can do that.
All right, no,
we can do whatever you want. This is what's Phantom in Japan. That's
okay,
you.
Okay.
That's you. Okay.
Well, the like I was saying before, there's so many amazing tag matches in there. Not like too many singles, although definitely the rise, the comeback of Tanahashi was quite apparent there in his one-on-one with Okada. I really enjoyed their ending sequence where the Superfly was
the High Fly Flow.
High Fly Flow. You know, they're both standing on the top, and then it's a standing up one. Like,
yeah,
the guy jumps in midair and then hits him in air, and then the second one he's standing up, and then the third one he's lying down. And
yeah,
it was
3
fantastic.
high fly flows to put away Okada.
Well, that's what he does anyways, right? It's a triple combination, or at least a double that he does every time.
And he hadn't beaten Okada in like several years.
Yeah. And but
it was huge for him to overcome that, and you know.
Yeah. It was a big tension in that room. You saw the emotion there, and I just can't believe how every time I look at Tanahashi, he gets better and better looking. He's this cartoon character, and he's so well chiseled and like smooth, and he's really like an 80s cartoon, a pirate something or other. Like, it's fantastic, and he's so good.
Yeah.
And he's another guy that doesn't take a night off either. Those guys are bashing the shit out of each other, and so he's like, what, 44 or something? That
yeah,
guy?
I can tell you exactly how old he is.
Ridiculous, man.
But yeah, no, he's been doing it in New Japan at this high level for a very long time. Yeah. He's been carrying the company. He's the ace of New Japan. He's the man. And it's really cool that he's having this resurgence now when his story was like, oh, maybe I don't have it anymore for a while. And we were talking about it, saying, oh, maybe they're kind of phasing out Tanahashi. And then he wins the G1. He wins this shot at the IWGP heavyweight title in January at the big show at the Tokyo Dome. And then he has to face Okada, and you think, uh-oh, Okada. Okada is Tanahashi's kryptonite. And then, boom, he manages to beat Okada. It's just a cool story of the comeback of Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Well, I knew he'd beat him. He was just...
Did you? I was not sure.
He's come so far, and he has the G1 there. It's his, I'll tell you.
He's 41.
Oh, he's 41. Oh, yeah. I'm a year older than him.
He looks fantastic, though.
He does. He looks fantastic. Well, I look better than I have it in my whole life, and I'm 42.
There you go.
He's just going to get better looking, I guess, next year.
Do you want to see Tanahashi go forward to the Wrestle Kingdom show in January to face Kenny Omega?
Yes, of course, brother.
Is that the match for Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom?
I think so, because it's the big comeback against the new generation. I really think that's what they're going to do.
I think that's what they're heading towards.
And who's going to win that? I don't know. Right now, my money would be on Tanahashi.
Really? To beat Kenny?
To beat Kenny?
I would put my money on Kenny. I would say Kenny Omega would win that match. I think they're going with the new generation, and they're going with Kenny Omega, and maybe Tana's being built up to lose to Kenny at Wrestle Kingdom. I'm not sure.
I guess. I mean, it could definitely go either way, but I feel that there's more invested right now in Tanahashi in that sense, where Omega can come back and beat Tanahashi. You know what I mean?
And there's
where if Tanahashi loses to Omega, I don't know if he can come back anymore. Maybe, but
you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
But I would love to see Tanahashi against PCO. That's what I'd like to see.
That would be sick.
PCO is on. Speaking of two resurgences, I mean, that's the resurgence of hell. I just finished listening to both parts of. Sorry to plug another podcast, but like he needs the help. Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. That was great. I mean, listen to PCO. The other day when PCO was wrestling here in Montreal, he knew he was going out on another big indie surge, and he asked me if he could use my move, the Phantom Menace. Is this move I do? If you all seen it at home, it's really impressive. It's a cool move. And he asked me if I could use it. I'm like, I'm just flattered you'd even ask me, PCO. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, but is you sure? I'm like, especially if you're going to call it by its name, I have absolutely no problem with that. And he's like, he agreed, and he was on the U.S. indie scene doing the Phantom Menace all over the place, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. He's had an amazing resurgence. I listened to one part. I haven't heard the second part of that podcast.
I just listened on the way home today.
But he's like 50-something years old, right? And he is
53, man. 53.
Maybe bigger than ever?
Definitely. He says...
Is he, though? I mean, he was a WWF Tag Team Champion.
Yeah, but he's saying now he's making more money than he's ever made. He's just getting more crowd reaction than ever. He's like... He's making more... He's just having way more success than ever before, you know? Like,
and he's a guy who's always had the talent, just never got the right break.
That's it. It's circumstances, but also working for it. You know, it's like it's being ready and being in the right place at the right time when things happen. And you know, he's I really hope Vincent gives him a call again, but honestly, he doesn't need it right now. He could, you know, his resurgence here. I could see him. His Frankenstein gimmick would work so well in Japan. Like he would just explode there, man.
I'd love to see him in New Japan. That would be great.
I mean, it would work.
Did he really cut himself with a knife?
He cut open his chest. Yeah,
Did he really put like some car battery in there?
Well, just to pretend. But it was a real cut open. Yes, for sure.
What the hell?
Hey, man, it's fucking.
That's living
hardcore.
The gimmick, man. It's that hardcore. Is crazy. Are you willing to do something like that?
You know, it depends.
Tell me no.
PCO is making a lot more money doing that than me. So if I was on his level, yeah, I would say yes. And he like,
how much did that stunt really translate to dollars in his bank account?
You know, you can't say by promo to promo, but he's done a lot of those promos, you know, and they've got a lot of traction, and so each one is an investment to a certain degree. And now he's like top dollar indie star right now, and if I could do that, I would. And he said a smart thing. He's like, you know, people they like do 1 inch, 2 inch, half inch cuts every night. Little blade jobs.
Right.
So I do one.
One big one.
Yeah. What's better? What's worse? Fuck that. I agree. Yeah. As long as you're not killing yourself. Anyway, PCO should. It
was pretty dangerous though. Don't try that at home.
Don't try it at home. But
he had medical supervision, from what I understand from the podcast.
He did.
But Austin was like, "You what? What the hell?"
Well, again,
what?
Him back in Japan. He should definitely. That'd be amazing. Okada or
PCO against Tanahashi. PCO against Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
What did you think of Naito and Suzuki, their one-on-one match?
I liked it. I always liked Suzuki. That's my girlfriend's favorite wrestler is Suzuki. She calls him.
I think he's a real handsome fella.
The guy.
I do. I think that's a handsome look, though. What he's got, it's like rugged,
so scary.
Scary. I like that. That's my kind of guy.
You
like the pretty boys. I like the mean-looking fucks.
The reason I like him, and I guess the same reason my girlfriend likes him, is because he just kicks the shit out of people. Even what I liked about the destruction, even when you're on his team, he's going to beat you up anyway.
That's right.
And then in the end, just hitting everyone with guardrails and going crazy. It's like even if you're on his team, he might end up kicking your ass. So that's fun. He's really he's like, what's that? It's like a loose cannon to watch.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen.
You never know what he's going to do to somebody.
It's great. Who's he wrestling in that upcoming card?
I hope he's on it.
He better be.
I think he's in a tag match with. No, I don't think he's on this card. Whoa, what? See, if I were in the United States for this show, I would be mad because Minoru Suzuki is not booked.
Wow.
Suzuki is not booked. This is the card we're talking about. Fighting Spirit Unleashed. It's going to be on NJPW World Live this Sunday, September 30th in Long Beach, California.
Yeah, that's why it's not, because there's all these people I'm looking at that wouldn't be there.
Yeah. Well, there's Ring of Honor people.
Yeah. Jeff Cobb. Have you seen him wrestle?
Yeah, he's all right. You like him?
I haven't seen him, but he has a lot of hype.
Yeah.
Hangman Page coming back to the States. Thunder Liger. That's cool.
So I'll run down the card just so everybody knows what we're talking about here.
This match looks interesting. Sonata, Evil, and Naito against Davey Boy Jr., Zack Sabre Jr., and I'm not sure what Lance Archer is, but that seems like a cool match.
You don't know Lance Archer? He was Lance Hoyt for a while in TNA. He's him and Davey Boy, their tag team, the Killer Elite Squad.
Okay.
They're all in Suzuki-gun. So it'll be Davey Boy Smith Jr. there, Harry Smith.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Lance Archer and Zack Sabre Jr. against Naito, Evil, and Sonata from Los Ingobernables. So that thing is still going on. Like, they had a lot of those tag matches where it was Suzuki-gun versus Los Ingobernables, and they're still continuing that. I like the Suzuki-Naito match. Naito beat Suzuki again.
Yeah.
The only thing I thought, I didn't love the finish because it seemed like Naito botched the Gotch-style piledriver. It looked like he was going to hit Suzuki's piledriver, and then he just didn't have him right, so he kind of flopped him face first, hit Destino, and went home. I thought the finish was kind of weak. And I'm a big Naito and Suzuki fan, but I thought the finish was maybe botched there by Naito.
Yeah, perhaps. But I don't think he was meant to do the piledriver, or maybe Suzuki, he's one of those guys who said no. Maybe.
I don't know what happened there. It was just a weird finish to the match.
I one of those guys who said no. You'll love this story. So Jeremy Prophet, the Black Russian Prophet.
Yes.
Black Dynamite. I just recently had a feud with him. Well, Phantom had a feud with him, and I haven't done pile drivers in a while, and I heard that he hates them. So I'm like, I want to do one. And he's like, no, I don't want to. And I'm like the safest guy to ever do a pile driver. I've done them. I used to do them all the time, and I have a special one it's like a shoulder hook pile driver. No one else does it. I do it myself. It's the safest pile driver possible, called the gangrene driver. Anyways, he said no. And it didn't matter. And I gave it to him. And I gave it to him.
How did that work? Now, okay, he says no before the match. But you're in the match. At one point, you decide you're going to go for it anyways.
tongue in cheek, like I say no, and then he says no, but he kind of he trusts me and he doesn't want to, but because he knows me and likes me, he's willing to accept me. So he didn't force against me that much. There was some resistance, but he didn't force against me that much. But yeah, he if I didn't force it, he wouldn't have done it. And then because I did it, then we had another match at the last Unity show, and that one I gave him another pile driver as well. There's actually a nice picture. I'll give it to you after.
Yes.
You can tweet it out of me pile driving him. It's cool.
And how's he doing now? Is he all right?
Oh, I broke his freaking neck, man. No, he's great. I'm telling you, it's one of my greatest moves. I'm really good. I was like the first guy in Quebec to do pile drivers off ropes or off the apron through tables and shit like that. That's like, I remember back in the day watching Bret Hart. That was his finisher for a while. I don't know if people know that. It wasn't originally the sharpshooter. It was the pile driver, and I fell in love with that move watching him do it because he did it well. I didn't like the old school where they took you up and they kind of fell backwards.
Yeah, they
like
just
awkwardly
sit down.
He actually
there's no impact there.
Yeah, he made it look really good. Anyway. You know who also makes shit look really good?
I trust you on your pile drivers, I just want to say, because I've seen you drop a lot of guys, what looks like on their head, murdering them, and as far as I know, you haven't killed anyone. As far as I know.
Yeah. And one of your radio colleagues, Andy Bennett, remember I pile drived her through a table. Yeah, you
pile drive her through a table, and she's not a wrestler, so you're all right.
So fuck everyone else doesn't want to take a pile driver from me.
Yeah, take a pile driver from the Green Fans, and what's the matter with you?
Yeah,
don't try to pile drive me.
I won't.
Okay.
Another match in there that looks pretty good. Back to the
main event I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, first
the main event is the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, taking on Kazuchika Okada and Tomohiro Ishii. Yeah. That is a badass tag team.
It's a badass tag team.
That's the main event of this show.
I don't even know how that's going to end. It's just,
I think the Golden Lovers are going to win.
I think so too. Who gets pinned?
Ishii.
You think? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Not Okada.
Yeah. Do you think Cody's going to take back his U.S. Heavyweight Championship?
I think he should win that title.
Do you think he'll come to the ring with his NWA Championship?
Yeah, I think he will.
I think he will too.
I think he will, and I think he's going to take that U.S. title from Juice Robinson. I've not been loving the Juice Robinson U.S. title run.
Yeah, it's kind of. It feels like he got it to boost him up, but Cody's going to win it back. I would almost bet money on that.
I don't think he had it ever, Cody.
No,
because Juice won it from Jay White.
Oh yeah,
Jay White won it from Kenny Omega.
Oh, what am I thinking?
I don't know.
I'm thinking weird. Anyway, forget it.
Cody never had a title. I don't think he's held a title in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So why not the U.S. title?
Yeah, it's true.
He's American.
Yeah,
he's the American Nightmare.
I'm pretty sure he's going to win. Another one, I don't know who's going to win because it's in the States. The Jackson brothers there against the Tongas.
Young Buckaroos.
Yeah.
Young Bucks defending the IWGP tag titles against Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. And they've been feuding pretty heavy, right? Like,
yeah.
What's going to happen here? Is Bad Luck Fale going to interfere and
something, disqualify them or something? I hope
will
not.
it be a disqualification? I could see that happening.
I can see it, but I hope not.
I think the Bucks are going to retain their tag titles, though. I don't see them dropping the belts here.
Yeah, me neither. But it'd be cool to see if they did.
So
Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll,
that could be match of the night.
Yeah, I've seen them. They've battled a few times, but some good matches.
And that's a semifinal for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title that is currently vacant because Hiromu Takahashi has still not returned. He's still injured. Remember when he broke his neck? He got skidded across the ring there on his head by Dragon Lee.
And the other
that was the last time they went to the States, right?
And the other semifinalist who we just watched that match.
Yeah, it was Kushida.
Yeah, so Kushida is the guy. No?
Kushida is the guy waiting in the finals. Who did Kushida beat? He beat another man.
I forget it.
There was a match. Oh, Bushi.
Ibushi.
From
not Ibushi.
Not
Bushi.
Ibushi.
Bushi.
Bushi. Not Kota Ibushi.
Just Bushi.
Just Bushi.
Yeah,
from Los Ingobernables de Japón.
That was actually a pretty good match.
Yeah.
But the thing about Bushi, he wrestled the first half of his match with a T-shirt on. It looks stupid. I really don't like that look.
Bushi just seems like too generic to me. He comes out with like a mask and a T-shirt, and he's good, but he doesn't do anything
spectacular.
Yeah, so you're just kind of like, yeah, Bushi, whatever. It's hard to get hyped for a Bushi match. I like Kushida, though. I think Kushida's very good.
Yeah, me too. I dig it, man.
Who do you think is going to be the next IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion? Will it be Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll, or Kushida?
Yeah, I think it's the winner of that match. The winner of the Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll.
I think so, too. Who do you think is going to be the winner, though?
I think Will Ospreay is the up-and-comer rising there, and Marty Scurll has a crew and stuff.
Yeah.
So if it's just a straight-up match, one-on-one, no interference or anything, I would go with Will Ospreay, I would say.
I think Will Ospreay is a safe bet. It would make more sense.
It would make more sense.
Yeah. And really, who's the best junior heavyweight in the world right now?
Exactly.
It's Will Ospreay.
It's him, for sure.
He's incredible. Kushida taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi in a tag team match. They take on Gato and Jay White. Jay White turning on his whole team, and Gato at the end there of the Tanahashi and Okada match.
Yeah.
Jay White comes in. He attacks Tanahashi. He attacks Okada, and Gato, who was Okada's old manager, the head of Chaos, now siding with Jay White. So they're going to be teaming up to take on Tanahashi and Kushida here. Man, Jay White is such a bastard.
Jay White is the heel of heels right now in New Japan. There's not a bigger heel. He's even a heel to the heels. He's a heel to everybody, which it's pretty fantastic. He's definitely come on my radar in the last little bit. He's evil, but I'm not sure if that's going to go anywhere except for this match coming up. It'd be interesting to see if it goes beyond this.
I think the Jay White Tanahashi thing is not over, because Jay White and Tanahashi will be wrestling each other, I want to say, at King of Pro Wrestling on October the 8th.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's when it's going to happen, but I know that down the road they're set to wrestle each other for Tanahashi's briefcase, right? That the title shot in January, Tanahashi's going to keep defending it like he did against Okada. He's going to defend it again against Jay White.
Oh, shit.
And I believe that's going down, right, October the 8th, King of Pro Wrestling.
I really hope Jay White doesn't win it. I want Tanahashi Omega.
I don't know when that match is actually going to happen. I think it's going to be Tanahashi Omega. I don't think Jay White is going to win it.
But he's such an up-and-coming heel, man.
Yeah. I think he's
still really young,
maybe
though,
the best heel in professional wrestling, because he's a real heel that you can just look at and be like, this guy is a dick. He's a good wrestler at the same time.
Yeah.
Most good wrestlers you cheer because, oh, you're a good wrestler. How can I boo you? But Jay White, you're like, man, I know you're good and everything, but fuck you, man. You're such a dick.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Jay White is a very, very good heel. So King of Pro Wrestling, we don't know the card yet. That's going down October 8th. Elsewhere on this card here, coming up on Sunday, you got Jeff Cobb, Chris Sabin, and Flip Gordon. They take on Chucky T, Beretta, and Hiroko Goto, which is interesting. Hangman Page and Chase Owens, Bullet Club, taking on SCU, Frankie Kazarian, and Chris Daniels.
Yeah,
that match should be pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's neat to see Christopher Daniels back in Japan. That's neat.
Well, it's in the States, it's not in Japan.
Oh yeah, I mean, back in New Japan. I mean,
ACH, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Jushin Thunder Liger will open the show. They take on Roppongi 3K, Shoyo, and Rocky Romero. So that is Fighting Spirit Unleashed this Sunday, September 30th, at the Walter Pyramid.
Yay.
How about it? And then in October, just to give you an overview, to give you, really, Phantom, the kind of picture of what's happening in October for the next episode of What's Phantom in Japan, you have King of Pro Wrestling from New Japan. That'll go down in Japan at Ryogoku Kokujikan, or whatever it is, October the 8th. And then we have... Hang on a second. The schedule just glitched out on me. There we go. October 16th, Power Struggle. October 17th, Power Struggle. This is the Road to the Super Junior Tag League. So really the big event in October seems to be King of Pro Wrestling, because then we're getting into the Super Junior Tag League that's coming up, that's going to take up most of New Japan's schedule in October.
Maybe that's the time off for Omega and company.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. So I guess we'll recap some of this Super Junior Tag League. This seems like a lot. And then the World Tag League, which is a lot. This seems like a lot of stuff to cover.
It does.
It's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot to cover.
It's going to be like the G1, but like amplified We'll see what we do for that.
Yeah.
We'll do King of Pro Wrestling and this Walter Pyramid show, and then we'll meet you at the next episode of What's Fandom in Japan sometime in October. It's a monthly podcast.
What's Fandom in Japan? So we'll see what's happening after. But I have to say, Super Tag League doesn't excite me as much as the other stuff does. So I guess we're just going to end it here, right?
Yeah, I think you got to go. I think we got to go. I think that's the show.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. And answer the question, what is Phantom in Japan?
Follow him on Twitter and Instagram
at Green Phantom 514.
Follow me at Dave Simon MMA on Twitter and Instagram.
Also look at Facebook, the old school Facebook, The Green Phantom.
There you go.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening.
We'll talk to you again in October for another episode of What's Phantom in Japan.
In Japan.